Hey, what's going on, guys? Braden here with Unfinished Business, and we're bringing you a second bonus video about the NCAA tournament regarding the second round results and third round Sweet 16 matchups. I got Gregory here to my right, and we're going to be going through the games here. Might as well just jump right into it. We got our first matchup of the second round that brought the number one seeded Gonzaga Bulldogs up against the 8 seed Oklahoma Sooners. We got the Gonzaga Bulldogs pulling out on top here at 87-71.
Yep. Drew, I think it's Timmy with 30 points, 13 rebounds, and 4 assists for Gonzaga. I kind of thought this game might be a little closer, personally, but
Yeah.
Once again, Gonzaga kind of makes us eat our words a little bit, maybe. I mean, they did make it to the Sweet 16. We can't say that I guess they didn't deserve it, but with that being said, they did win. They obviously won again by double digits.
Yeah. Big performance out of their other star player, too.
Yeah, and I will say, in my mind, I mean, the next game we're going to talk about anyway is the Creighton-Ohio game. In my mind, we'll get into this, I think I have Gonzaga going to the Elite Eight as well. But with that being said, next game, Creighton, the 5 seed, defeats Ohio, the 13 seed. I personally had Ohio winning this game, even before I had Ohio winning in my bracket as well. Final score was 72-58, so really not a close game. Ohio was kind of out of it the entire game, to be honest. So kind of surprising in my mind for Creighton to win by 14 because they really didn't look impressive in their first game.
Yeah.
So Christian Bishop with 12 points, 15 rebounds to lead Creighton. So they will go up against Gonzaga next round. And, did you have anything else really to say about Creighton?
Ohio, obviously losing, not a close game. I mean, you can't shoot 32% from the field and expect to have a close game.
Yeah.
I mean, they were 7 of 30 from three-point territory, and they also were 9 of 16 from the free throw line. Just an all around just poor shooting game. I mean, you can't even buy them from the stripe. So I mean,
and I didn't look up. 'Cause I watched a decent amount of this game. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I did not look up how James Preston did for Ohio. But from the little bit I did watch, he didn't look like he had a very good game at all. And that's their leader. So
40 minutes played, 4 points, 1 of 10 from the field, 0 of 3 from three. I mean, he had 9 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. So I mean, good for him.
But for that team, if he's not scoring, they're not moving on. Yeah. And as you can see, I mean, they lost by 14.
Yeah.
So it's like even if he scores his season average, I want to say he averaged double digits this year. I mean, they're in the game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, him not scoring what he's capable of, and I mean, he got the rebounds, he got the assists, but they weren't going to go anywhere without him scoring.
Yeah. So, next game we got here is going to be the number 6 seed USC Trojans going against the number 3 seeded Kansas Jayhawks.
Yeah, and this one was a game that it shocked me on how much the end score ended up being. I mean, USC dominated Kansas, and I mean the final score is 85-51. Not even a close game at all. I want to say it might have been Kansas's third largest defeat in program history, so that's unreal that USC won this game by that much. I mean, you can say Kansas was down this year, but to me, USC winning by that much was extremely shocking. Played a great game. Evan Mobley with 10 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, and kind of leading the way for USC, who and I actually heard about this the next day. A lot of the analysts said that they were playing very high basketball at the end of the year, and that they were going to be a dangerous team in the tournament. I personally didn't think that they would make this deep of a run. I did not have them in the Sweet 16, but obviously, proved me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, USC, it's hard to shoot 57% from the field and then go 11 of 18 from 3 and lose.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 57% from the field, like I said, and, I mean, over 50% from three.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to beat. And you're out-rebounding Kansas, who only shot 29%.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Like I said, Kansas was never in this game.
Yeah, Rockhawk, Jayhawk, no more.
Yeah, and, USC looking like a very dangerous team going into their next game. So they are looking very good, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do in their next game. I mean, if they can keep this up. So, with that being said, the next game of the day, another one of my Final Four teams went down. So,
yeah.
Oregon, the 7 seed, upsets Iowa, the 2 seed, 95-80. It was Luke Garza's last game in college, where he scored 36 points, 9 rebounds. So, I mean, you can't say Luke Garza didn't try to keep his team in this game, but
yeah.
When your team's giving up 95 points, you're not going to win very many games.
No,
in college.
And Iowa lives and kind of dies by the three, getting their 3-point shooters open for baskets, and I mean they're hitting 32% from the field, which isn't, or 32% from three, which isn't a bad percentage. But whenever you're shooting 8 for 25, I mean Iowa's normally going to be a better shooting team than that, and Oregon was 11 of 25 or 44% from three.
Yeah,
so
personally, I know when we talked on our last NCAA video, we kind of both thought Oregon was going to come out flat.
Yeah,
they didn't have to play a first round game. They moved into the second round without playing anybody. They definitely proved me wrong. They looked very impressive against Iowa.
Maybe the first team in NCAA history to win one game and go to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I mean that's impressive. Credit to them. I mean, you win one game during the Sweet 16. I mean, quite possibly you get to play one of the hottest teams in college basketball right now in USC. Literally hottest. I mean, they're in Southern Cal. So, do you like that?
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's gonna that game. I cannot wait to watch that game.
Yeah.
Because in this round, and we'll go into our predictions. I know. Last time a lot of our predictions were incorrect. So, again, disclaimer: if you are doing a round by round bracket, do not listen to us.
Yeah, there are some games. Listen to us.
Yeah, some of them we were correct on, but there's a lot of other ones like Iowa getting their butts kicked by Oregon. I'm pretty sure I predicted that being a double-digit win for Iowa.
Yeah.
So
we'll get to some other ones like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Moving from one Big Ten team to another, we've got the number 1 seeded Michigan Wolverines.
Sir, we didn't do our predictions for the next round.
I was gonna go, dude. Just gonna go down the second round. We can go to the third
do predictions later.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
So we got the number 1 seeded Michigan Wolverines taking on the number 8 seed LSU Tigers. You've got Michigan taking this game 86-78.
Yeah, and honestly, this game was actually a lot closer than an 8-point game. LSU played very well, but I mean, credit to Michigan for winning that game. I mean, in the end, I think LSU kind of just ran out of gas.
Yeah.
I mean, they honestly relied on Javonte Smart that entire game. First half, I'm pretty sure he had 18 to 20 points in the first half, and he finished with 27. So, I mean,
yeah,
Michigan shut him down the second half, and you could say, that was what LSU had. And to start that game, I want to say he scored LSU's probably first 10 or so points of that game.
Yeah, I mean,
so
LSU for the game had 8 assists.
Yeah,
8,
which is not going to win you very many games
compared to Michigan having 22.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you only have 8 assists, you're getting out-rebounded. You're not shooting above 40% from the field.
Yeah.
You're going to have a tough time winning ball games.
Yeah, and personally, I had LSU winning this game. I can't remember if
not.
Well, and I'm talking about in my bracket, I had them.
Yeah.
I believe in the last video, I said that I thought Michigan would win this game. In my bracket, I had LSU, mainly just for an upset and just to try to get something, but... Michigan proved they're number 1 seed, and they will be playing the winner of Florida State. The 4 seed defeats Colorado, the 5 seed, 71-53. It was honestly a bigger difference in the score than I personally thought it would be. I thought it might be a little closer of a game.
Yeah.
But Anthony Polite with 22 points to lead Florida State. Florida State looked very impressive. They personally, I mean, I know that they could not play in the ACC tournament because of COVID, and they had to bow out of there. I did not personally have Florida State making it this far. I don't believe in my bracket. Not because they're not a good team, but I didn't think that they'd be able to play that well in the tournament.
Yeah.
But, they definitely did look. I mean, it was Colorado who, I know their first round game, they blew out. I forgot who they played the first round. Was it
Georgetown?
Okay, yeah, they played Georgetown. Who we talked about. Georgetown only made the tournament because they won the conference tournament. Yeah. So, I mean, you couldn't really even look at that. But me personally, I thought this was going to be a closer game just because Colorado's not a bad team.
Yeah.
So, an 18-point victory for Florida State kind of surprised me. But, credit to them. They played very good basketball. Do you have any of the statistics for, like, how they shot? I don't know how well they actually...
I mean, a lot of the stats... I mean, Florida State shot 52% from the field, 35% from three. Rebounding numbers were pretty close, except the Buffaloes, Colorado Buffaloes, had 15 offensive rebounds compared to Florida State's 5.
Yeah,
second chance opportunities. Apparently, they didn't cash it.
Yeah, that number is actually very surprising.
They had more offensive rebounds than defensive rebounds.
Huh. I would say that's actually very surprising that you have 15 offensive rebounds and you lose by 18 points.
Yes.
I mean,
maybe it has something to do with the 22 fouls and 18 turnovers they had.
Yeah, that probably did not help.
No, it absolutely did not.
Because I wonder how, and actually, I don't know if you can look up this stat, but I wonder how many of those offensive rebounds turned into some of those turnovers.
It doesn't tell me that.
Yeah, I'm about to say that would be actually an interesting stat. But with that being said, Florida State played a great game. Going up against Michigan next round, that could be a very good matchup. So, but we will move on to the 11 seed UCLA playing the 14 seed Abilene Christian.
Yeah, the Bruins against the Wildcats for all you mascot fans out there. UCLA takes it 67 to 47 with a 20-point victory,
which did not surprise me at all.
I mean, UCLA shot 47% from the field. Abilene Christian shot 29%. I mean, you just kind of saw here who was used to playing in big arenas, used to playing in big games, type of atmosphere that it was, and you saw who wasn't.
Which credit to Abilene Christian. They won their first game. They made it into the round of 32. Playing up against UCLA, who once again a first 4 team makes it into the Sweet 16.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that during the last video I had said something about Abilene Christian probably using all their momentum in that Texas game, and I think that really kind of showed. I mean, again, great, good for them, good run getting out of the first round against, especially against a 3 seed, or a 14 seed beating a 3 seed. So, good run. Unfortunately, it comes to a close after they get beat by UCLA
by 20.
Yeah. And speaking of 20-point victories, we're going to move on to the next game. It's going to be the 10-seed Maryland Terrapins against the number 2 seeded Alabama Crimson Tide. And the Alabama Crimson Tide take it 96 to 77, so not quite a 20-point victory, but we're going to say close enough.
I mean, and in my mind, I know we talked that, well, you talked, I don't know if I necessarily agreed with you, but that Alabama really hasn't played hardly anybody this year. And you could say, Maryland was down in the Big Ten, so they still haven't really played anybody.
I mean, the fact is that they still haven't played really the level of teams that some other teams here in the tournament have. However,
I'll give you that.
They are winning. They're winning games that they'd be winning, and they put themselves in a good spot going up against a double-digit seed in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, and they might be a double digit seed, but UCLA is playing great basketball.
Yeah,
so that could be an interesting game.
I can tell you one thing that UCLA is going to have to do better than what Maryland did: rebound the basketball. Maryland with 19 rebounds compared to Alabama's 39.
Yeah, that's not going to win very many games.
And also,
how many of those were offensive?
Let me take a look here.
Because I think that's the one that we...
Maryland had 4 offensive rebounds, and Alabama had 15.
Okay, well, and, that honestly, there you go. That could have won them the game right there. Just offensive rebounds.
Also, half of Alabama's shots were threes. Exactly half.
Which I did not realize this until I kind of watched a little bit of that game. They remind me, and we'll get into this team later on. They remind me kind of an Oral Roberts type of feel. They shoot a lot of threes.
Yeah, I mean they were 16 of 33. So I mean, hey,
they're
not a bad percentage.
If you're making 50% of your threes and you're scoring 96 points a game.
Speaking of that, we've had a lot of games this tournament where they've had 90+ points.
Yeah. Which is, in a way, kind of surprising for
Alabama,
college basketball. Because
Alabama had the 90-point game. Colorado had a 90-point game against Georgetown.
Don't even go to the other bracket where Gonzaga scored 90-something. I mean, they played Norfolk State.
I'm including that, though, because it's still a 90-point victory.
But they're playing Norfolk State for
Kansas scored 93 and then scored 51 against USC. So
That's true. So,
yeah.
You never know.
You never know.
You never know. So,
all right. So we're gonna
moving on over to
across the bracket. We'll go with.
How about we go to the south region, Braden? So that way you don't have to.
No, we're going to the Midwest first.
You don't have to cry right away.
We're going to the Midwest first.
All right. Well, I'll get this kicked off, and I'll just let you talk about this game.
Let's start at the bottom of the bracket.
Oh, we're gonna start at the bottom. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll say the best for last then.
Okay.
So the bottom of the bracket, we have the number 2 seed Houston playing the 10 seed Rutgers. Houston only winning 63-60.
Yeah.
So credit to Rutgers. I personally thought Houston would win a little more than just 3 points.
Well, there's a reason for that. They shot 37% from the field and still won.
Okay. Well, I mean.
Yeah.
Well, okay, were they shooting bad, or was
they were 22 of 59,
or was Maryland just playing great defense? I didn't get to watch this game.
Just looking at their stats here, I didn't get to watch much of the game either. But just looking at the stats here, 22 of 59 from the field, 8 of 22 from 3, and 11 of 18 from the free throw line. I'm gonna say just a roundabout poor shooting game in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still, they were 61% from the free throw line. I mean, as a team.
Yeah, and
in today's league, maybe not the worst, but still not the best.
Yeah, and credit to Houston, I guess. I mean, they're still moving on. But I feel like they would definitely have to play a better game next round. Yeah. Especially with who they are going up against.
Yeah, it's not very often whenever the losing team has a better field goal percentage, has a better 3-point field goal percentage, has a better free throw percentage,
and
has more defensive rebounds, has more assists, and they have more turnovers too. But
honestly though, I mean, we have
it doesn't happen often. It just shows you how close of a game this really was.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Is those 3 turnovers, you only lose by 3 points.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that a turnover can cause is the reason why you lose a close game. That's not what I'm saying.
But it was.
Well, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, you can't just look at one play as the reason why you lose a game, though. And a lot of people try to do that.
I can think of one example right now.
Wow.
Duke beating Kentucky later. There's one play that won them a game.
I'll drink to that.
All right, so getting away from the Houston and Rutgers game, we'll go ahead and move up to the second game, the next one up.
Next one up. Heck yeah.
The Syracuse Orange.
We called this game.
We did call this game. The Syracuse Orange defeating the West Virginia Mountaineers and spoiling
Bob Huggins'
901st win, 75-72.
Yeah, well,
and Boeheim.
And what a great game! It really was. Overall, just a fantastic game to watch. I actually got to watch a lot of this one. But again, Buddy Boeheim, 25 points. Just really leading his team. Syracuse's defense, and that zone is looking great.
It's not exactly the 40 points that I called, but
hey, he got 25.
We'll take it.
So far, he has 55 points in this tournament, and you could argue is maybe right now statistically one of the best players in the tournament. like playing.
Yeah.
Just based on points and what he's doing for his team.
Yeah.
So
you want to hear maybe the craziest stat from a losing team this in this round?
All right, let's hear this.
Okay. So bad. Well, not necessarily bad, but a poor shooting performance at 37% from West Virginia. Out rebounded Syracuse by 10.
Okay.
And
was that a lot more offensive rebounds, or
of the 37 rebounds, 17 were offensive.
Okay.
Yeah. 17 offensive rebounds.
Wow.
20 defensive rebounds.
And you lose by 3.
By 3.
What was their free throw shooting?
9 of 11.
Okay, so you can't even say that they weren't shooting well from the line either.
Nope. Syracuse shot 52% from the field, though. So,
that doesn't surprise me, though.
14
with
turnovers. Syracuse had more turnovers at 15.
So, yeah.
Fouls were even. However, for Syracuse, 6 blocks.
Okay. I mean, and that could be
6 blocks, 6 steals. Assists were even.
Wow. Well, I mean, like we talked about,
17 offensive rebounds and you lose a game.
Yeah, and we had. I mean, I think we both picked Syracuse to win that game in the last video. And again, it's not because we think West Virginia's a bad team. Very well coached team, very good team. But the way that zone's playing right now, the way Buddy Boeheim's playing, I mean,
why are you not running a zone at this point? I mean, Syracuse has done it for however many years.
And here's the thing.
That it's effective.
And here's the thing: all these teams have video on this zone, and they still just cannot make it pass. And we will get into this with the predictions, but I will tell you who I'm taking in that game with Houston and Syracuse in the next round.
Yeah,
I will tell you who I'm taking.
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that, but I'll tell you who I'm taking, and I'll tell you the exact reason why.
Well, you can tell us here in a minute.
Sure, don't get all mad. I know you're still upset about your team.
So we're jumping up to the next game. The
Oregon State Beavers
up against the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Yeah, OSU and OSU.
Yeah, and once again, like NFL fans are sad to hear all the time, the Cowboys lose again. So it's looking like
somehow we can still add in a nice old Cowboy dig in this.
Yeah. So this game, unlike the last game, the stats show exactly how this game went. Oregon State shoots 41% from the field, while Oklahoma State shoots 28%. 92% from the free throw line.
Yeah. And I will say, not to cut you off, but I will say, and I know we talked about this last time with Cade Cunningham maybe having nerves in his first game because he didn't look very well. He had 24 points in this game. I didn't look up his assists or rebounds, but
4 rebounds, 3 assists.
Yeah, so not really doing much on that.
With 4 fouls as well, but had 5 steals.
Yeah, and I really wonder how many of those fouls came towards the late of the game when they're trying to just foul to extend the game. But credit to Oregon State. They've now beat Tennessee, who was and that was a blowout. And they've now beat Oklahoma State, who personally I had Oklahoma State in my Elite Eight Sweet 16. I had them winning this game, but I also had them playing Tennessee, not Oregon State. So
20 rebound advantage of Oregon State over Oklahoma State, 49 rebounds to 28.
Wow, and
Oregon State had 11 blocks.
Wow. Well, and that. Oregon State, as a 12 seed, moving on, another double-digit team in the Sweet 16.
They also had 17 turnovers.
Oregon State did?
Yeah, compared to Oklahoma State's 8.
Wow. Yeah. So, they win by 10, turn the ball over 17 times, but when you out-rebound by 20, I mean, that's going to win you by 10. No offense. That's going to win you the game.
There's a lot of fouls in this game, too, though. There were over 50 fouls in this game. 29 fouls for Oklahoma State and 24
I'll be honest, this was one game that I was not able to catch a lot of. I caught, I think, part of the first half and a little bit at the start of the second half. I wasn't able to catch
I'll be honest, I didn't watch a lot of the games in this round because I was more upset about the game we're going to talk about next.
Yeah, and we might as well just get right into this. I watched this entire game. I'm sure you did as well. Yeah, obviously, I am not an Illinois fan. I'm a Duke fan, but I was riding the Illinois bandwagon I really was.
Well, it's your fault then. Gosh.
And yeah, it probably was, but Loyola Chicago defeats upsets Illinois 71-58 in a game that, honestly, watching it, Illinois was never in this game.
No, Loyola controlled that game.
Yeah, Loyola Chicago. They took Illinois completely out of their game. In my mind, and I know that he still scored 21 points, 9 rebounds, but in my mind, Kofi Coburn may have actually got outplayed by that Cameron Krutwig.
Yeah.
In my mind,
they kept them away from the basket.
In my mind, Illinois was out of sync, and you could tell even in the first half and going into halftime, they were yelling at each other. They were completely just off their game. I was watching that game with my wife, and I'll be honest, she even asked me, she's like, why do they have, and she didn't know his name, so I told her Io. She's like, why do they have him bringing the ball up the court every single time where all he's trying to do is make something happen? And I told her, he's trying to get this team going.
Yeah.
Nobody could get anything going. Curbelo really did not look like he was playing very well. Frazier looked out of sync.
Curbelo was, well, actually, I'd say Curbelo was the one bright spot of this team this entire game. I mean,
I guess what I mean by out of sync is you could tell that he was the bright spot, and he was at some points he was almost trying to do too much.
Oh yeah,
with dribbling the ball. Is what I meant by out of sync.
He was trying to take over that clutch time player over from Dosunmu, who just wasn't having a good game. I mean, Dosunmu was 4 of 10 from the field. He was 1 of 2 from 3. I mean,
how many points did he finish with?
9.
I was say I didn't think he hit double digits. But us saying that Illinois played a bad game, we do not want to take anything away from Loyola Chicago.
No,
you may want to as an Illinois fan, but very well coached team.
Yes,
played a fantastic game, and like I said, took Illinois out of their game.
I'd say the most well disciplined team.
Yes.
The most disciplined team, one of the best defensive teams, and one of the best one of the best coaches. You could just tell that Brad Underwood was outcoached the entire game. They were drawing up plays that got him baskets every time.
I tell you what I noticed about that game is
inbound plays were insane.
The inbound plays and the back cuts.
Yes,
Illinois could not defend the back cuts at all.
No,
and it wasn't necessarily the same play every time, but how they did the back cuts were very similar. And I'll be honest, as an Illinois fan, and we've talked about this guy being quite possibly a top player going into the draft, Io looked lost on the back cuts.
Yeah, and I think
there was numerous times where he was the one who got beat on the back cuts.
Well, I think a lot of the time what they are relying on is they're relying on Kofi Coburn to be down in the paint, controlling what goes on down there, and with them with Loyola having Krutwig up the top of the key, more around the 3-point line, setting screens, staying up there and not rolling to the basket. Kofi just wasn't down there. They didn't have that protection inside, especially, they didn't bring in Bashanis Vili too much into this game. He only played 7 minutes, which I think was part of the problem itself too. But
I will be honest, the last video we talked about, and I know personally I said this, I thought Illinois would win by double digits. And I have to eat my words and say Loyola Chicago
won by double digits.
Fantastic game. And in my mind, probably with the teams left might be the most well coached team.
I think I think with all of the teams in there, they're the best coached team.
Yeah, and credit to them. And I know before I said that last video, we had talked that Illinois was definitely in quite possibly the most loaded bracket of all of them. And we even told each other, that Loyola Chicago matchup is going to be a tough matchup. Mm-hmm. I still thought Illinois, the way that they were playing and the momentum they had, I still thought they were going to win by double digits. Obviously, I was wrong, which is the reason why we say, anything can happen in the tournament, and don't listen to us on predictions.
One shining moment.
But do you want to go back and do our predictions for the next round?
We still got to talk about the South here, bud.
Oh yeah, I forgot we talked about the Midwest. My bad.
Yeah, let's stop talking about the Illinois game, please.
Yeah, we'll get out of the Illinois game.
So the first matchup we can talk about in the South region is going to be the number 1 Baylor Bears going up against the what seems like 15th Big Ten team that's in this tournament. The
much.
number 9 seeded Wisconsin Badgers, and Baylor taking this one that's 76-63.
Yeah, and we had talked last time, when Wisconsin beat North Carolina, that Wisconsin may have been seeded too low. This game, obviously, you could just tell Baylor was a better team.
Yeah.
Nothing against Wisconsin. I mean, still a great season, great team playing in the Big Ten, but Baylor definitely was a better team in this one.
Yeah, I mean, Baylor only commits 4 turnovers all game. They forced 13 out of Wisconsin. Also Baylor shooting 47% from the 3 as well. So
yeah, I mean, and what was Wisconsin's 3-point percentage? Because I know that Baylor's
or 38.
Okay, I know Baylor's perimeter defense might be one of the best in the country.
Yeah, 38%.
To be honest,
from 3.
Okay.
I mean, Baylor also got to the line 23 times, so they shot 23 free throws and made 18 of them, while Wisconsin only got to the line 7 times.
Yeah, and that's not going to win you very many games, especially against the number 1 seed.
Yeah,
and especially against a team like Baylor. You're not going to win very many games without getting to the line.
Wisconsin did out-rebound them, though.
Which, I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, they only out-rebounded them by 4.
Yeah, I was about to say it's probably close. I mean, if anything, but
those 4 rebounds they out-rebounded them by were kind of masked by the by the 9 turnovers more they had than Baylor.
Yeah, and it was a 13-point win, but that game really wasn't that close.
Yeah,
honestly.
So jumping into the next matchup,
talking about games that weren't close.
Yeah,
Villanova defeats North Texas. I mean, we both said that we thought North Texas Magic was going to run out in this round.
Yeah.
And Villanova beats them 84-61. The game was not close. Again, Jeremiah Robinson Earl with 18 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, played a great game.
Yeah.
And once again, Villanova, who not many people talked about this year in the Sweet 16.
Yeah. Another finalist for best mascot name in the tournament.
Mean Green.
The North Texas Mean Green Machine.
You know what that reminds me of?
The Mean Machine?
No, the Big Green.
The soccer
movie. That's what that reminds me of.
Yeah.
That's a whole different issue, but yeah, I mean Villanova. This was, in my mind, easy to tell. I mean, if North Texas would have won this game, it would have been a big upset again, and I personally did not see that happening against Villanova.
It's hard to lose when you shoot over 50% from the field and 50% from 3.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's about all you can really say about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need to say anything more about that game.
No.
Moving on, Arkansas, the 3 seed, defeats Texas Tech. Very close game, 68-66. I had Texas Tech actually winning this game in my bracket, so for it to be a close game, I was not shocked at all. But credit to Arkansas, they held on at the end because they were up. I want to say double digits with I think maybe 10 minutes left, and credit to Texas Tech for coming back in that game. But I don't know what the stats were team wise, but I watched a lot of the second half, and it looked like a very close game.
I can tell you they weren't good.
Really?
Yeah.
But for both teams, or just for one?
For really both teams.
Well, actually, I can see the field goal percentage from here. And
Texas Tech shot 36% from the field. Arkansas shot 42%, so not terrible. Texas Tech was 50% from 3, so that was good. Arkansas was 4 of 17, or 24% from 3.
Jeez.
Texas Tech was under 70% from the free throw line, and Arkansas was just at 70%. So not good shooting splits for either team.
Yeah, so really very poorly played game all around, and the winner just wins the game. And, I guess credit to Arkansas for not being upset, but, that was an interesting game.
Yeah. Not well shot from either team.
But moving on to another upset that we had picked.
Yep.
Oral Roberts defeats Florida 81-78. Fantastic game once again by Oral Roberts. Probably put up a ton of threes. I didn't get to watch
30.
a lot of this game. So I was trying to say they probably shot a decent amount of threes like they normally do. Kevin O'Banner once again was a double-double, 28 points, 11 rebounds to lead his team. Played really good basketball. I mean, when I said I didn't get to watch a lot of this game, it was I did watch the later part just for the end, but I was not able to sit down and watch the entire thing like I wanted to. But you know, from what I saw, Oral Roberts looked once again just the better team.
And we talked the last episode about how much Oral Roberts likes to shoot the three. Over 50% of their shots from the field were threes.
Mm-hmm.
They shot 30. They had 33 point attempts, making 10 or 33%, and they attempted 57 total shots. So not much over 50%, but still.
Yeah, which I'll be honest. You know, I love watching them play because they're not afraid to shoot, but I feel like at some point in this tournament, and maybe it'll be next round, I don't know, it's shooting the three the whole game and being over 50% of their shots gonna come and hurt them to where they're gonna lose a game because they're focused on shooting threes.
I mean, I don't know. The last two games, they've shot a bunch of threes, and they were just barely above 30% both times.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
you can go worse than that, but you don't see many college teams dip below 30% from three most of the time. I mean, you had what? Who was it that shot? Oh, Arkansas. Arkansas shot 23% from three. So you don't have too many teams that drop below that 30% mark,
and win.
Yeah, and win.
So I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in Florida, you know, they played a decent game, but Oral Roberts just once again the better team.
Oral Roberts getting out rebounded by 14, by the way.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me with them, honestly, though.
You know what kind of might surprise you? 23 free throw attempts
for
Oral Roberts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know though. Not really, because if
they're shooting 50% of their shots from three. I mean, it was a closer game, so I mean, some of it was at the end of the game, but 50% of their shots are from three.
Yeah, that is true. How many offensive rebounds do they have though? Since they're
5.
Shooting, okay. So yeah, I mean, I guess that is a little surprising in a way, but. Well, do you want to get back
now? We can jump to the next round predictions here.
So do you want to start in the West like we did to begin with?
We'll go from top to bottom.
So Gonzaga and Creighton. I think I already told what I'm going with here. It pains me to say this, but I do not see any way in hell Creighton wins that game. So I'm going Gonzaga, and personally, I think this round I kind of want to say like how much we predict each team to win by, just for shits and giggles.
Oh boy.
I am saying Gonzaga by 13.
You're saying Gonzaga by 13?
Yep. And it might even be worse than that, to be honest.
I'm trying to figure out some kind of stat where I can just roast Gonzaga so I can say Creighton's going to win this game, but I'm not finding anything.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to.
Okay, so I'm going to say
this one. I don't think you're going to.
I'm going to say Gonzaga. I'm going to say Gonzaga takes this one, moves on to the Elite Eight. As much as it pains me to say it,
by
I'm going to say they win by 0.1 points.
0.1 points.
No, they're gonna win by, I'd say 15 plus, so maybe like 18, 19.
And honestly, I said 13 just to give some credit to Creighton. It's honestly, I can see this being like 20-point win.
Yeah, I don't see.
to be honest,
I'm gonna put the curse on it, so maybe Gonzaga does lose.
Yeah,
I'm saying that Creighton loses by double digits.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. We said that a couple times, and other teams lost.
Maybe we root for Gonzaga at this point.
I mean,
and they might just get blown out.
It might come down to that. It's not coming down to that. Let me tell you.
Next game, USC and Oregon.
Yeah.
Do you want me to take the lead on this one?
Go ahead. I'm gonna shock you.
Personally, in this game, you want to know what? I'm gonna take USC.
Okay.
I'm gonna take USC by 4.
Okay.
Why, I couldn't tell you, but I I'll tell you why. Okay. I don't want to see Oregon, who only got to play one game and make the Sweet 16, make it to the Elite Eight. That's my reasoning. There you go.
I mean, it's a good story.
I assume you're taking Oregon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm taking Oregon. I'm going to say Oregon by 7.
Okay. I mean, all right.
The number seed that they are, just in case you're curious.
Do you want to know my other reasoning for taking USC?
I'm not sure. I want to know.
I think USC has a better chance of beating Gonzaga than Oregon does.
You want to know why I picked it? Why I mainly picked Oregon?
What was that?
Because Oregon are the Ducks.
Okay. Well, I mean,
no.
Speaking of Ducks, it's completely off topic. The new Mighty Ducks series comes out tomorrow.
Speaking of ducks, I want a pet duck.
Well, okay. We need to go to the next region. On that note.
All right, next matchup, moving down into the East region, is going to be the number 1 seeded Michigan Wolverines up against the number 4 seeded Florida State Seminoles.
You want to take this one first, or you want me to?
Michigan by 40.
Michigan by 40?
No, Michigan by I'll say 20.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to shock you. I'm taking Florida State by 4.
No, Michigan State by 20. Michigan by 20, not Michigan State.
Florida State by 4. You heard it here first, folks.
Why are you saying? Why are you going with Florida State?
Because there has to be at least one ACC team in the Elite Eight.
There has to be one Big Ten team in the Elite Eight.
That's why I said that. Because I know that you're an Illinois fan. I'm a Duke fan. I want to see the ACC. Even though I hate Florida State, I want to see them. Honestly, I don't want to have you have a Final Four team still in it for our little bracket thing.
Well, I can tell you that Baylor's not going to get beat by Villanova. So good luck with that.
Hey, they got to play the games. We also didn't think Illinois would lose to Loyola Chicago, and you saw.
We're not talking about that game anymore.
We have to talk about it later on.
We ain't talking about the Illinois game later on.
I know, that's true.
All right. So yes, I'm taking Michigan. I'm serious. I'm 100% 20.
Okay, well, I'm taking Florida State by 4, so okay. We'll see.
Moving into the next game, UCLA Bruins going up against the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Yeah. This is a tough pick for me, honestly, because, I mean, yeah, UCLA has played a little better competition, but, you know, what Alabama team's going to show up? That's where I'm kind of drawn right now, and I think I am going to take Alabama. God. I'm going to take Alabama by 3.
Roll Tide stops here. I said that last time, but it stops.
Yeah. Well,
it stops here.
Hey, if you said it last time, I have a good chance of winning this one.
It stops here. UCLA 15. 15.
Okay. Well,
I think
you're here first, folks.
I think UCLA continues their shooting that they had in the last game against Abilene Christian, where they shot just under 50%.
See, I personally, I don't. I mean, they played Abilene Christian. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, they're in the tournament. They made it to the round of 32, but I don't see them shooting like that against Alabama.
We'll see.
But hey, if they do, Braden, I'll give you props out the you know what. So.
All right, going to the next region, which is going to be the South.
Yeah,
and it's going to be the number 1 seeded Baylor Bears going up against the Villanova Wildcats at a number 5 seed.
You know, I really want to say Villanova wins this game, but
good luck with that.
I'm going to be honest with myself, and say Baylor by 12.
You know, I've got a feeling here. I got a feeling. I'm going to say
tonight's going to be a good night.
No, I'm going to say yes, that too. But I'm going to take Baylor.
Okay.
I'm going to take them by 1. I'm going to say it's going to be a close game. Late free throw.
Late
free throw.
To be honest with you, if it's a close game, I see Villanova win that game.
No.
I'm just being honest. I see Villanova
based on recent program history, I would take Villanova in a close game too, but I'm thinking Baylor. I think Baylor hits a late free throw late. Baylor is They're shooting relatively good from the line at around 70%. I mean, kind of good for a college team.
Yeah.
Because they usually aren't the best free throw shooters for whatever reason. But, yeah, I'm taking Baylor by 1.
I still take Baylor by, what did I say, 13?
You said 13 or 12.
I said 12 or 13, yeah. But moving on, Arkansas against Oral Roberts. You want me to go first? Or?
Golden Eagles are flying their way into the next round.
Okay.
They're flying. Flying high.
Bye.
Let's see. What seed are they?
15.
15?
Yeah.
15 against the 3?
15
Split the difference, 12.
Okay. I mean, honestly, that's about where I was at. I have Oral Roberts winning this game, except for I have it by 15. I don't think Arkansas is going to be in this game at all, to be honest. I see Oral Roberts just walking all over them, and I want to see it. I want to see Oral Roberts against Baylor to show, is Baylor's perimeter defense really that good? Because when they have to play a team that only shoots threes,
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah,
I want to see that matchup. So that's mine. Oral Roberts for 15.
All right. I mean, I'm 12, so we're not too far off there. One made 3. All right, going into the
they're gonna make 13 instead of 12.
Going into the Midwest region, we've got the Loyola Chicago Ramblers.
I'll let you take this one first.
Going up against the Oregon State Beavers. In one of the weirdest matchup of mascots I've ever seen, I am going to take. I'm gonna piss off Sister Jean. I'm gonna take the Oregon State Beavers here. I really don't have any reasoning.
By how much? 0.1?
No. No, for real. I really do think that Oregon State's going to win this game. I like Loyola Chicago's game. I like their coaching staff. I like the way that they call they don't really call. I mean, they call game, I suppose. But I like the play calls that they have. But I mean, they did just beat Illinois. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to come down to the better free throw shooting team and who's going to be committing the least amount of turnovers. And both of those edges in their stat lines go to Oregon State.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take Oregon State, and I'm going to say by 3, but I'm going to say Loyola has a chance to tie the game at the end of the game with a decent look at 3. And they miss, obviously.
I am taking Loyola Chicago in this game, and it's not really so much because they beat Illinois. That's
why I picked them.
What?
That's why I picked against them.
Well, yeah, I mean, I understand that, but I'm not picking them because of Illinois. I'm picking them because of just how well coached they are, and Oregon State has played a very tough road to get to where they're at right now, and I don't know if they're going to be able to compete against Loyola Chicago. I think it is going to be a close game, and I have it. Loyola Chicago wins by, I'm going to say 6.
By 6?
Yeah, I
think so.
I'm going to say 6.
Yeah.
Moving on, Syracuse against the Syracuse Orange.
Yeah.
Against the Houston Cougars, right?
Houston Cougars.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you take this one.
I think I am going to take Syracuse by 9.
I think Otto the Orange is going to be dancing it up in Indianapolis.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be just grooving around all over the place.
Here's my 2 cents on the reason why. We talked about how Houston shot in the last game against Maryland.
Yeah.
Or no, not Maryland, Rutgers. And if they shoot like that against Syracuse's zone, where they have to shoot the ball,
yeah,
no chance. absolutely, it could be worse than 9 points. And that's the reason why I have Syracuse winning this game. I mean, if Houston comes out and they're on fire shooting, credit to them. But I don't see this game being close.
Yeah. I'm just gonna use 2 words to describe why Syracuse is gonna win. Buddy Boeheim. That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's unless he gets injured or gets COVID during this week, which I hope doesn't happen at all.
Now you jinxed it.
For anyone, but that'd be the only way I see them losing this game.
Buddy Boeheim is shooting 44% from the field and 39% from 3. He's only shooting 5 percentage points worse from 3 than he is from the field.
Yeah, and to be honest, like I said, you could argue he might be the best player in the tournament right now, like just statistically. I think Kevin O'Banner from Oral Roberts might have a say in that as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could just argue just the way that they're playing, those two might be the top in the tournament right now. And
yeah, I'm going to say this is going to be close because I don't think I've said how close I think it's going to be.
You have not.
But let's look. I'm just looking at the averages here of their stats. So both teams, 44% from the field. Both teams, 35% from 3. For free throws, Syracuse is at 78. Houston is at 73.
Okay.
I mean, their shooting splits are very similar. And just because of that reason, obviously, any team can have an off game. Any player can have an off game. But I think it's going to be a closer game. I'm going to take Syracuse by... I'm going to say 7. And I'm going to say that it's going to be a lot closer than 7. I think it's just going to come down to late free throws. Syracuse making late free throws to push it out to 7.
And I'll be honest, especially in the Midwest, in my mind, who would have had an 8 seed, 12 seed, 11 seed, and 2 seed?
Not me.
I mean,
I'll be the first to admit I've got one team that is in that from the Midwest region that is still in that, and that's Houston.
I will be the first to admit that. Yeah, I am the exact same, and I will be the first to admit I have no Final Four teams left.
I've got 2. I'm proud of myself there.
At least in this bracket. I mean, in some of my brackets, I still have 1 or 2 left, but in the bracket we're doing for our challenge, where right now, and we probably need to post, how people are doing right now in our bracket challenge in general, but we will get to that on Facebook. If I can pull it up real quick.
I can tell you that I am not doing well.
Yeah, I can tell you that between us. So, right now the leader is, and it doesn't have a name, but it's I Hate Basketball. So if that is you, you are in the lead right now.
Can you click it?
It still says I Hate Basketball.
Okay. So. I don't know if it would say anything.
Yeah, it just says I Hate Basketball. So I'll have to figure out who that is. But
can I just say it's me?
We know that that's not you. But between us and the Unfinished Business podcast, right now, Chandler, our video guy, is in first. I am in second, and Braden is in last. So if it ended right now,
it's golf. You want the lowest score, right?
That is incorrect, sir. Oh. If it ended right now, Braden would be the one serving the punishment.
But guess what? It doesn't end now. Guess who's got 2 Final Four teams, and guess who does not?
That is true. Based on total points that you could have for your max, Greg is in last. So here is to Baylor losing and Gonzaga losing. So, yes.
That's fine. We can have Gonzaga lose. I'll still have Michigan.
Never mind. Here's to Michigan losing. Yeah. Who do they play? Oh, they play Florida State. They're going to lose this week.
That's all right. Baylor's not losing.
They're going to lose by the next time we do a video.
So who out of these teams that are left?
Who out of the teams left?
Do you see the lower seeds? So as far as, let's see here, out of Oral Roberts,
the double-digit seeds?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
Oral Roberts, Loyola, Oregon State, Syracuse, UCLA.
Okay.
Yeah, out of them, who are you thinking has a chance of taking the national title?
Has a chance?
Has a chance
I would say anybody in the Midwest.
of winning the national championship game against a team like Michigan or Gonzaga if they get there.
Here's my reasoning for that.
Okay.
So a team out of the Midwest. So let's just use Loyola Chicago. Let's use Loyola Chicago or Oregon State.
Okay.
They're already playing each other. So one of them's going to the Elite Eight already.
Okay.
So let's say in our argument, there's 3 of the 4 teams in that division or that region that we're already talking about.
Yeah.
So I like my chances to pick one of them. But not just that. I'm not going to go with a team like Oral Roberts when they still have to get through Baylor. I'm not going to go with a team like UCLA when they still have to get through Michigan. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but you also still, like, if you're picking Loyola, they still have to go through Oregon State, who has beat Tennessee and Oklahoma State, and they still have to go through either Syracuse or Houston, who's a number 2 seed, and Syracuse, they beat.
No, I see your point, and I mean any team can lose any day, but like you're just asking me who I think.
Yeah.
Like of those teams, who I think is the best team.
Who do you think has the best? Not necessarily best team, just the best chance of them getting to the national championship and beating whoever they're playing in the national championship.
I mean,
not just getting there, beating who they get there against. So you're looking at maybe a Gonzaga, maybe a Michigan.
I mean,
Alabama.
I already said I think USC is going to beat Gonzaga.
Okay.
But that also means USC has to beat Oregon. I think that game's going to be close.
Yeah.
So, in my mind, no one on the left side of the bracket has probably had a chance of making it to the national championship. Because
one team does.
Well, what I'm saying is like of the teams that you just said.
Oh, okay.
Like the higher seed ones.
Okay.
Because you have to beat either Michigan.
You have to beat.
You have to beat both Michigan and Gonzaga. And I don't see one of those teams doing that on the left side of the bracket.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I can't pick anybody on that side, and I would say on the right side of the bracket, it'd be the Midwest because you have more teams. Yeah. Because the only team that we're talking about in the South is Oral Roberts in our question. Which I do have Oral Roberts beating Arkansas. Whether or not they can beat Baylor, that's a
different story.
That's going to be a tough matchup for them because like we said, Baylor's perimeter defense is fantastic.
Yeah.
And if 50% of their shots are threes, that's going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
So in my mind, the best chance of a team making to the national championship, and in my mind, maybe not winning it, it would be from the Midwest. And if I had to pick a team from the Midwest right now that I would say is playing the best basketball, I'd say Syracuse, personally.
Speaking of that, what a game I'm looking for. First of all, I know I picked against Loyola to lose that game. You know how fun of a matchup it would be to watch Loyola Chicago play Syracuse. The defensive basketball in that game
for a chance to make it to the Final Four, dude, that would be a fantastic matchup. You want to let's root for that.
Let's not.
Dude, I'm rooting for it. Screw it. Actually, I think I already picked it. So.
Oregon State, let's go.
Yeah. So Loyola Chicago, Syracuse. If that happens, it's gonna be a great game to watch, folks.
It will be. It'll be a great defensive game.
But Braden, with that being said.
Yeah, with that being said, that's gonna wrap up this little bonus episode that we got. We're gonna try and do these little bonus episodes after each round. Look at the next round just to see what matchups we like, the kind of shocking little games that happen or shocking upsets that may occur. So we should be doing one again beginning of next week, middle of next week, before the Elite Eight games. So,
but obviously these are our picks. Let us know what you guys. What you guys think. Like, do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? I mean, obviously we disagreed on several games of this round. So, let us know. And then obviously, keep sending us questions on Facebook, like us on Twitter,
Instagram, Facebook, Like the video, subscribe, ring the bell.
Ring that bell.
Like us on TikTok.
Because that way, anytime if you ring the bell and subscribe, anytime we upload a video, you will get a notification. So definitely subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already, because that's the best way of knowing when we will be posting videos.
Yeah, get involved. Let me know how much of an idiot I am for not picking a Loyola. Like, just let me have it. I'm looking forward to it. I want to read the comments.
And keep on telling us how we're idiots for picking against Gonzaga the whole entire year. So
I'm still picking against Gonzaga.
I still don't want to see them be a team that goes undefeated. To be honest, I don't.
They won't.
No. But, well, guys,
with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up, and go ahead and stay tuned with us on our social media. Like we said, we're going to be posting some stuff there. Post some updates as far as what's going on in the bracket challenge, and we post some random sporting news that happens throughout the week. We also post when we're going to be recording the videos and when we're going to have them up on YouTube, as well as some links to our YouTube videos. So go ahead and follow us along there. Stay engaged.